Ric Flair in the house. Tell me, Ric Flair, what was it like
The Nature Boy.
doing all that stuff? Man, I can't even get into it today. Wrestling? Get out of here. I told you.
I got more gold chains, more airplanes.
Listen, I told you, first of all, what's up with the backyard wrestling thing and you guys up here?
Oh, it's all over the place.
What is like outside of this city or like outside of this state, or do you mean everywhere?
I think it's everywhere.
Okay, so it is an everywhere thing.
Yes.
We've never talked about this, but I am for some reason told by some of my friends that that's still a big thing.
It probably is.
Oh, it super is. My buddy told me the other day he was at a local match in Cleveland and that Billy Corgan was hanging out there because he's trying to get wrestling hopping in Cleveland again.
Oh, you mean like,
Yeah.
you don't mean backyard wrestling.
But these are backyard wrestlers, yeah.
No. It's not in somebody's backyard or in a gym.
It's probably in a gym.
There are plenty of...
Is it underground too?
It's not underground.
Maybe
It's like minor league wrestling.
Oh, so that's what these guys are probably talking about.
Right,
If money's involed, they're probably talking minor league.
No, there's a lot of minor league groups.
How come we don't have a league yet? Dude, listen, I don't think it's funny. I think it's ridiculous that there's all these freaking businesses that keep popping up that I didn't even know you could do.
Oh, 100%.
Well, then why aren't we doing them?
Because you need to buy a ring.
So?
And run a promotion.
Of all the random crap that we've bought in the last couple of years, I think a ring is not the hardest effing thing we could find. That is not. There are so many other things we've procured that are way harder.
You should watch that special called The Wrestlers starring Al Snow.
Oh, is that the one?
Al Snow was a huge WWE guy, and then he took
guy?
over a minor network that used to feed the WWE. That's where they would send all their guys down. Like when you went to the minor leagues, they'd send you to this guy. Or when you came up from the minor leagues to WWE, you used to come up from them.
Right.
Until they started doing their own thing, where they had their own in-house training, right?
Huh.
And it shows him trying to run this network, you know. I think it's out of Kentucky or Tennessee, but they wrestle like 3 or 4 different states.
No crap.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard work.
I'm not into
It's
that.
hard to keep the lights on.
Well, I mean we've had quite a few episodes about pro wrestlers, which if you're keeping the lights on doing that job, more power to you.
Right.
Because that's a beating.
It is a beating, right?
No. Yeah,
because it doesn't have
one.
I mean, it's not like wrestling went through that heyday, right?
Where it was super huge
in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Shoot, do you think that was his biggest heyday?
Yeah.
I think it was only due to
before
technologicals, though.
No, I'm saying it's when you had more than one league. We had WWF, right? You had WCW. You had all the other organizations, right. ECW.
Yeah.
And then WWE went and bought up all the competition.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah, WWE pretty much.
That's why all those places fell off?
Yeah, they bought up all the competition. Now there's like 1 or 2 competing organizations right now.
Oh.
That just popped up probably in the past 10 or 15 years.
I didn't know
There's
that.
like a guy who's like an Indian billionaire who started a wrestling network.
Maybe he's friends with Billy Corgan.
I don't know.
That's what they're trying to do is start this big wrestling thing. It's always been a thing, though. Why are humans so obsessed with wrestling?
Because it's the male soap opera.
Oh.
It's the male soap opera.
Is that what it is?
100% it's the male soap opera.
Really?
Chicks dig it because you get big, ripped, fucking monstrous dudes, right?
Right.
Guys dig it because it's the male soap opera, right? And you gotta understand, it's not until the past 15, 20 years that they actually came out and said, oh, it's all scripted. The outcomes are scripted.
Well, what's the expression? The story is scripted, the wrestling is not.
The bumps are not scripted.
Those are not scripted.
When dudes get slammed, I mean, you have to understand, underneath that canvas is like a 16th of an inch of padding and plywood. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when they're getting thrown down on the mat, they're getting thrown down on plywood.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know any of that stuff. I mean, the obvious stuff I did, 30 feet is 30 feet.
It doesn't matter.
Falling on whatever is falling on whatever.
Yeah. Even if they score the bottom of the table for you to break through the table, you're still hitting a fucking table.
Yeah, at 40 feet.
Yeah, right.
With your 300-pound body of muscle.
Right.
That's
right.
yeah, no.
And
then
the
you got to deal
craziest
with the
network
splinters
that
and all
ever
that.
existed was ECW.
Was that the Cactus Jack stuff?
Well, that's kind of where he was at one point in time.
Ah, yeah.
But
where he came from.
Well, he didn't start there, but he ended up there, right?
Oh.
And you had all the other crazy guys like New Jack, the Dudley Boys. You know, I saw them again, the Sandman. I saw them right downtown, and that's the one where I told you the guy split the audience dude's face open with a kendo stick.
Oh.
Right.
I wonder.
And the
I
Dudley
wonder
Boys
that...
jumped off one of the box seats, right in the balcony. Jumped off of that like 30 feet onto tables. You know, like these guys were abusing the shit out of their bodies.
Yeah, they're definitely stunt guys.
And then you got New Jack, who was in there using pizza cutters and actual weapons and forks and just stabbing and cutting people.
So,
he got charged with like attempted murder in one of the matches.
No. That's a whole different sport in itself.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Here's
sir.
a question now. Here's an important, super important question. Do you think that WrestleMania stuff, is directly the reason people don't take real wrestlers seriously? Like if a Roman Greco, state champion, whatever, all state comes up to you and says, "I'm Roman Greco wrestler," do you think people kind of are like, "Oh, wrestlers, ha ha ha"? Like,
no, I don't think it's because of WWE. I think it's because of MMA.
You think it's because of MMA? But
Right.
but I mean,
but listen, there's still a hardcore holdout fans for all those hardcore serious Greco wrestlers, right?
Right, and we've talked about this before. The first guy to ever put those guys down when they made that big was a wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one that showed
Dan
him.
Severn.
But they still, that's crazy that you know
The
his
Beast.
name. I always forget that. See, but so this is my
Here's an
question.
issue. I knew a guy that was Dan Severn's college roommate.
How was that guy? How do you say Dan Severn was for training? Was he good?
Well, he was also a wrestler.
Oh.
And the guy I knew.
They were both bridging together.
Right. So the guy I knew was supposed to go to the Olympics in 1980.
Oh.
Right. And that's the year the United States boycotted the Olympics because it was held in Russia.
Sure.
And so he never ended up
The
going.
irony.
Right. But here's the funny thing. The next year in the Pan American Games, he beat the Russian that took the gold in 1980.
Ooh. That's hot.
Yeah. And
We should try to wrestle that guy.
Bro, this guy was like this tall.
I'd let you wrestle him.
He was like 5'5" and like 270 pounds of rock solid muscle.
No.
And when you talk about a V shape,
Right.
he was a V shape. And I watched him wrestle 3 people simultaneously and pin all of them
Oh.
in a big pile, a human pile. Threw them all in a pile and sat on all of them.
He didn't care about any of them.
No, he just whipped all their asses.
Listen, man, I'm telling you, I always joke with people, the ground fighters are not to be feared. The stand-up fighters are not to be feared. It's the fighters that live in the middle. Those are the scary guys. Because they're like, "Oh, you're on the ground? Let me pick you up somehow and show you how much I can hurt you picking you up." Right. Or vice versa. They're like, "Let me show you how I can change your plane of axis painfully."
And push the earth down with your body.
Right. And it's always like, they never dude, MMA, you ever notice that? Listen, in martial arts world right now, and if anybody out there practices, they know, you can shit on everybody. You can shit on Aikido. You can shit on Jiu-Jitsu. You could shit on Taekwondo, karate, whatever. But you say something about those judo guys, and they're just going to throw you across the room.
They don't get enough credit.
No, they don't. But nobody's saying anything because nobody wants to talk about the realness of it. They're like, my leg bar's better than your punch. And the judo guy's like, I'll bet if I throw you off a fucking cliff, ain't no punch going to matter.
Right.
I'm like, oh.
How about this? I just watched one of the greatest Muay Thai fighters do an MMA match. And
how'd that go? He was wailing on that guy, wasn't he?
He was whipping that dude's ass.
Dude,
the guy kept trying to take him down and put him in leg bars and shit.
Good
and he
luck.
was just
good luck.
Giving him the boots, bro.
Good luck.
Oh, you're gonna shoot for my leg, and he would just punch that dude's skull to pieces.
You're gonna shoot in and grab my iron legs that I hit against banana trees all day.
Right.
Okay, I would love to see that. You ever try to grab the Terminator by his ankles and try to throw him back and be like, "Surprise, mother effer, I'm here."
That's not gonna work.
Right.
Not gonna work.
Yeah, I don't. This is the key. This is the thing that's lost in translation with media and what we've got going on these days. Technique is strength driven.
Right.
It doesn't matter. Dude, you could argue all day. Well, I could do technique with no strength. No, you can't. No, you can't. Not unless that technique is pulling a 5-pound trigger. There's no technique where you're beating me if you're not stronger than me. It doesn't make any sense. And
mass. Listen,
Right.
mass wins.
Right. Mass wins.
All I got to do is
Dude.
lean on you for long enough.
Until you stop breathing or fighting or everything in between. Or until you start leaking
Right.
and not air.
Right.
You know? And you watch all these videos. I love these videos now where you watch them and we're
Have
getting
you
on
ever
the-
watched Lethway?
Oh, the fighter or the movie?
No, the sport.
Yeah, we talked about that on
sport,
the podcast.
right? The sport of
The
Lethway
fighting one, yeah,
is
yeah.
like Muay Thai's evil cousin, right?
Oh, no. I think you sent me a video, but I don't know if we talked about this or
right.
not.
It's elbows, hands, knees, feet, headbutts.
Are they not allowed to do that in Muay Thai? Because I see
No
that in Muay Thai
headbutts.
all day.
No headbutts.
Maybe we're not watching the same Muay Thai videos.
Yeah. No, headbutting is only allowed in like Lethway.
Oh, so there's a difference.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
Lethway is far more brutal.
Is Lethway the one where they're still shielding up the arms? They
No.
still wearing big
No.
tape on the arms or no?
No. Dude,
Because
it
I've
is-
seen dudes headbutt in Thai. I just thought that was a general like rule of
No,
some.
we're gonna watch the
some
Lethway video,
federations
dude.
and-
It is way more brutal. And they have either they just wrap their hands in tape.
Right, so they do, yeah.
They just wrap. It's not like they're wearing gloves.
Right. Yeah, no, it's just tape. It's like almost a cast buildup type thing, and they're beating the crap out of each other. Yeah.
So if
Yeah,
if you
again.
want to watch brutality and you're into
Again.
that, just watch Lethway.
Again, it's a very. I love it when I see this black belt, because she's a black belt, beat this guy, and I'm like, nope, I think she beat him because the guy didn't punch her in the mouth. I could be
Jesus.
wrong.
Could be wrong.
I've been punched in the face a lot. And I'm telling you right now, no amount of technique prepares you for that shock. There's just, especially when you don't see it coming.
Listen, there's no way to train for getting punched in the face other than being
No.
punched in the face.
Well, that too, which I don't tell people that, but that is 100% true. That cheesy saying is true. I like that they're acknowledging the butt scooting now, though.
how they're
It's
dogging
finally-
people.
Yeah, I mean,
Stop getting in the ground guard and scooting your butt all over the ring because it looks
yeah.
stupid.
I saw a post the other day I saw a post from another gentleman the other day who was talking about jiu-jitsu, and he was like, Brazilian jiu-jitsu used to be tough, and we used to want to get out and hurt, and it used to be for strong men, and it used to be this, and it used to be that. And I'm thinking in my head like, oh, that's right. You guys are such in a baby phase coming to America in the 80s, 70s, whatever. I forgot that you haven't gone through that Americanized soft sport. Like now it's a big thing. They're like, well, you got his black belt in 5 years. How is that even possible? Homie, that's every martial art. What are you talking about?
This is how you have 8-year-olds with black belts
Right.
in karate.
That's every martial art. You were not supposed to get a black belt in 5 years. That's called American martial arts, my man.
Right.
Right. And I didn't realize that jiu-jitsu, and I've been rolling in it. Pun intended. I've been rolling around in it like, oh.
With your pajamas?
Yeah. Now I get why you guys are so silly. Now I get the meme about, because you say this like, the purple belt's going to hurt you in the roll. And or a blue belt, sorry, jiu-jitsu guys. I'm not a jiu-jitsu guy. Blue belt's going to hurt you because you got it right. And I never thought about it, because in karate, you get a yellow belt, they're still laughing at you. Like, homie, you got 25 more belts to go. Just chill out, you know? In jiu-jitsu, they're like, we got 4 belts. So it took you 2 years to get this belt. Now all that sexual pent-up frustration from rolling around with all these men has got to come out. So now you've cycled up to being angry and hurting people.
Oh.
And I never thought about it.
Oh, is that what it comes down
It's
to?
got to be. That's what the memes mean, right?
I guess.
The angry pent-up blue belt who just wants to beat you. I don't know. I didn't roll long enough to meet any blue belts. It was just mostly white belts and black belts. There were no blue belts.
No in betweens.
No in-betweens. Nobody beat me up.
No fuchsia belts.
Nobody even talked, to be honest. That's the one thing I like about jiu-jitsu class. They didn't talk.
They just sweated.
Dude, the teacher came in, even for people who'd never been there, came in, didn't introduce himself, and just started making people roll. And I was like, oh,
Oh, it's like that.
I like this class. I'm not coming back, but I like it. I'm going to tell people to come here. Not me. But
That wasn't your bag.
right. But I never thought about it. A brand new martial art, a baby martial art. Thanks a lot, Helsing Gracie. Thanks a lot, pal.
You did it for everybody.
Yeah. No, it is. We make jokes because you know those guys throw temper tantrums every time they lose too. We're getting in the real. This is supposed to be funny. It is kind of funny. You ever seen a world-renowned martial artist throw a fucking chair across the room because his kid gets
But
stabbed?
you know what else they don't like talking about?
Uh-oh, what?
In Brazil, it's not uncommon for top-level jiu-jitsu
Here we go.
fighters to smoke meth before a match.
Oh, yeah, no, I knew that. I thought, we can talk about that seriously? Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
the jiu-jitsu world is full of potheads now.
Yeah.
They're like, let's get high and roll. Are you out of your fucking mind, bro? I don't want to roll with you on the ground while your splits off thinking about what you're going to do to your wife tonight after fucking date night. That's crazy. That's crazy. I get it. People are like, I get more focused. So do I. If I'm watching cartoons, if I'm eating fucking cake, if I'm vacuuming, sure, I'll smoke a little. I'll drink a little. We could do whatever. We could party it the fuck up. When I'm trying to throw arm bars on my homies, I'm not trying to get ripped up on meth before.
Dude.
Don't even get me started on. Oh,
All right.
Yep,
all right.
there it is.
Let's,
Hey, listen, it's got to be a serious talk sometimes.
All right. So we're done with the serious talk.
All right, we're done with the serious talks. Listen, a lady puts up the room, $900 a month, puts up the listing, everything's whatever for a roommate, but you got to share a bed with her.
What? You just lost me.
That was the point. That's the listing. I just saw it. Lady put up a room, says it's so much money a month. You could live here for $900 a month, but you have to sleep in the bed with her. Physically, you don't have to do, I'm not saying you have to do weird stuff, but that's what the room is. You're sharing this half of the bed, $900 a month. That's what I need. Can you do it?
I'm out.
Ooh,
I'm
you're out.
I'm out.
Do you think 19-year-old Joe Scally would have been like, sure? Or do you think this is like we're just older now?
No,
thing?
it sounds like a trap.
I mean, it's a legit ad.
That doesn't mean it's not a trap.
I mean, it doesn't mean she's not a trap, but
That's what I'm saying.
But
That sounds like super crazy stalkerish. You might wake up with a knife in your chest.
I mean,
Why can't you sleep on the floor?
that's a good question. Maybe.
I mean, dude, when you have to specifically say you have to sleep in the bed with me.
Maybe she just posted it as we're sharing the same bed.
Okay.
That's still
like,
weird. Is
like
that
hot
still
racking,
weird?
like, hey, I work night shift so you can use the bed during the day. And then when I come home at night, or when I come home in the morning, you go to work and then I'll sleep in the bed?
Nope. I don't think that's what she meant.
That's a trap.
Yeah.
That's a trap.
Would you even be curious?
There's
Like,
cameras in that house.
Like, ooh. I mean, with
She's
that,
selling her version of Big Brother on the dark web.
with that situation, wouldn't you want there to be?
I don't
I'd
know.
want there to be cameras.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
at least feeding into something else besides her stuff.
Right.
You know, like, hey,
Are you
here's
getting
the
a cut?
feed.
Are you getting a cut?
Right. You think you could do that, the whole living on camera thing?
No.
No?
Nope.
You'd hate it?
I'd hate it.
You'd just be imagining people watching you left and right?
Yeah, it's no.
I couldn't do it.
I could barely live with myself,
Right.
let alone have 40 million people watching me.
No. I think it would be weird. I think it would be weird. And I remember when all that came out on television. We didn't forget. It's TV time, not cell phone time.
Right.
Right. And it was weird.
It was super.
Because they're like, let's watch people sitting on the couch. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
do I have to sit on the couch while I do this?
Tune in anytime you want and watch them doing
yeah.
whatever they're doing in the house.
Right. Can I run while I...
Well, remember
Watch
when
them on the
people were
couch?
selling live feeds of their apartments?
Well, exactly, because that came after, and that's still a thing. You can still go on to any website and pay and watch somebody's camera. That's a full... What's
I mean,
not,
I understand
what's-
people are voyeurs, but I don't necessarily need
Yeah.
to see you opening a can of Friskies for your cat.
Well, yeah.
I really don't care that much.
That's become, that in itself has become an entire industry, right? So I don't know what you call it, but yeah, voyeur industry maybe. Big daddy industry,
Yeah,
Big
there's
brother
some
industry.
weird shit. Weird shit.
Right.
But
Yeah,
that's-
I but again, the Craigslist thing, I'm like, could you answer that ad? Like, hey,
First
I
of
need
all,
to-
it's Craigslist.
Is Craigslist that bad though? Because for 5 minutes, Craigslist was great. Just like Tinder, for 5 minutes, Tinder was great. Now, listen, Tinder started off amazing, and now we're so
Are
sad.
you saying
that now they're-
Craigslist is the original Tinder?
No, I'm saying Craigslist is the original Craigslist, and nobody's seen the original Craigslist since I don't know when. Do you remember the first time somebody said check Craigslist?
Yeah.
What was it for?
Probably like a used lawnmower or something like that.
Right. Checks Craigslist because it
Right.
would have been worth it.
Right.
Now you can get.
Then I started checking Craigslist for and reading what is it, Missed Encounters,
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Where people would post on there, be like, "Hey, I saw you in the grocery store.
Oh,
You were looking at the ham. I was holding the jug of orange juice, and you
Right.
looked at me.
and I almost squeezed that orange juice top right off.
I'm sorry I didn't talk to you. You should message me."
Right. That's creepy.
Yeah, there were some really creepy ones on there.
But see, again, now it's all industrialized because Tinder used to be 5 minutes. Now I've met people who are like, "Oh, I met my wife off Tinder." And I'm like, "Homie, that's not
What it was designed for.
designed for." Right. How did you as a human, you repurpose this again?
No, it was so good, he couldn't let it go. That's what that was about.
Oh,
That's what that was about.
first time.
My
huh?
man fell in the honey trap.
First time. Welcome to the show. Where things are said that could get you dead.
So here's what I wanted to start off with on my end this week. And you and I talked about this last week, and I was like, "No, we're not going to talk about that. I want to talk about this Miami Mall alien thing."
So we are going into it.
Yeah, I thought about
Joe
it.
Skelly tried to rip this one out. It was right up his alley. All right, let's see it. Let's hear it. What are your thoughts? Oop, I just banged my mic. That's what she said. What are your thoughts?
I didn't think much of it until somebody pointed out that
Okay.
damn near every single cop in Miami
Okay.
was at that mall.
Right. Which we discussed in our prior knowledge of college that would only show up is number one, if it was some sort of weird terrorist attack,
Right.
or
Which initially I was kind of going with.
right, which
Right.
would make sense.
Right.
Or
And then they brought up, well, if every cop in the city is here at the mall, what was going on in the rest of the city?
right. Well, and you're not supposed to.
Then my
have
question was
90
like, oh, was this a heist somewhere else
'Cause
in
you-
the city?
you watched
that
the
they used
videos,
this as a
didn't you?
distraction. Yeah, I watched a whole bunch of videos.
right, and you saw that line of cops, huh?
Yeah.
That's a little crazy. Even for an officer in distress call, I was like, dude,
They
unless you're
don't bring
fighting
that
a
many cops out for that.
Right. Like, unless you're fighting a chopper fight, like, I don't understand it didn't make sense. And they had multiple choppers out for it, they're saying.
Right. And well, and the other weird thing was the first guy that said he saw the aliens
Okay.
made a follow-up video and said, I lied about everything.
Oh, I didn't see any interview videos. I would like to see
did.
those.
And then later on, there were other people who came out and said, I was there. And then the one that kind of had me going was the guy was like, look, I was in the shoe store with my nephew who's autistic and my brother and his wife. And all these people went running by the front of the store, screaming and running. So we ran out and we're running with him because they're like, something terrible must be going on. And he's like, and I was carrying my autistic nephew and he was pointing over my shoulder and he kept saying blanky, blanky, blanky. And apparently for that kid, he only says that when he's scared. And he goes, and I turned around and there was these 3 10-foot things. He goes, I'm not going to say they're aliens. I don't know what they were. They were these 10-foot humanoid creatures that looked like they were glitching in the Matrix, like they were glitching in and out.
See, that's the other thing that I heard too. The alien word was used, but the glitching thing is what I heard some people talking about that was really freaking people out.
And he was like, I don't know if it was like cloaking or what it was, but they were like phasing in and out and they looked like they were glitching, right?
Right.
And the only thing I could think of, realistically, is all these whistleblowers that have been coming out talking about Operation Bluebeam.
Which is what?
So allegedly, there was a CIA project called Bluebeam. And the idea was to take high-powered lasers and beam an image into the sky that was supposed to look like the second coming of Christ. And it was a hologram that was so big and so enormous and so realistic that people would truly believe that it was the second coming of Christ.
Yeah, you might cause chaos for about 5 minutes. And it would have to get unraveled, but eventually somebody with logic would chase this bad boy down. So you're going to buy yourself, yes, the chaos of whatever, and I guess that would be the biggest chaos.
Right. But so my thought was, well, what if this was a test run for this project, right? They're saying it's glitching, it's doing this, it's doing that. Who's to say, oh, we thought the tech was down pat, but it's like,
Right, it's messed up.
it's messed up. And this is why we're getting this sporadic holographic image of these 3 And the guy said they looked like they were black and glistening, and you could see their eyes and you could see their arms and their legs, but you couldn't see their hands or their feet.
And what do you think about?
And it was more than one person.
Did you see any interviews about people shooting at them? Because that's what I heard
No.
really cleared the mall was people actually firing stuff, which they thought was fireworks. And then they're like, no, it was people started shooting. And it's like, it's Florida, which makes sense. They have
100% makes sense.
They have a stand your ground law.
Yep.
It's Florida. They got a lot of
100% makes
stretch
sense.
boosas and pythons in the booty holes and just all kinds of weird crap. So I was like, that makes sense for Florida.
And think about this.
They'd be
If
like
you're
a
a
shoot
law-abiding
now.
citizen
Right.
who's a carrier,
Right.
and
And 3 giant black things start appearing. And all you got is a pistol, and it's something you've never seen before.
you'd be scared.
Right. These pranks are getting out of control, man.
So,
Whether or not this was a prank or not, I'm just saying in general.
but the fact that it drew almost every single cop in the city to that location,
Right. What could you
Is what-
say?
what-
That's
which
been
is-
my question
which
since
is
day one.
what was it that brought every cop there?
Right. What could you say?
It wasn't
on
4
the radio?
teenagers with fireworks
No. And sticks.
and sticks.
And sticks. Yeah. No.
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 You know, maybe if it was like some flash mob thing, you know, because they've had a lot of problems with the flash mobs. And
But you and I both know they're pretty moderately easy at force on force. So something big had to have been said for them to draw that crowd of the Hornet's Nest instantly.
yeah, it's super weird
And there's still nothing out about it.
and no good explanation. And they kind of just brushed it off.
Well,
Which lends me even more credibility to the fact that maybe they were just doing a test run on this project to see what it would do and see how well it worked. That's all I can imagine.
if you're involved in any kind of project that involves shooting alien images into Florida malls
With high-powered laser holographic machines.
to entice people with stretch bikes and dreads to shoot at you, please go to baysbasement.com,
Well, think about the video where
baysboyspodcast.com, and write the show.
think about when we watched the video where the guy was like, "Oh yeah, I could stand here in front of this camera, right? And we can have this box over here. I could be, let's say I'm a politician that has to give a speech, but I don't want to physically be present."
Oh, you're talking about like the projection stuff?
And it
Right.
looked like it, and they had him in. It looked like him standing inside this box giving a speech. Like you couldn't, like the hologram was so good.
Well, and how long until they start using that permanently? You know, that's a
I
real
don't think it's
question.
very long.
That's a whole sidebar, but
I don't think it's very long.
shorter the days of the doubles.
Right.
What do you need a double for when you never have to leave the room?
Exactly.
Well, this is all on you, listeners of Bays Boys Podcast. Dick Robots is your fault.
Aliens in the mall in Florida.
Aliens in the mall in Florida is probably one of your faults. We don't know who, but we're looking out for you. and people who would take that Craigslist room. This is probably your fault.
That's probably their fault.
Yes, I would.
You know, it's not their fault.
What's that?
Fucking cats.
Are we going to talk about cat body armor? Because I would buy some.
No.
Oh.
Why don't you describe what it is?
The samurai armor for the cats and dogs that we just found on Instagram. We need that.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
I'm going to buy some for the Fredo. I'm going to try.
That'd be super cool.
If it's like $700, I might not, because I know he probably won't wear it really, but he seems like the type of guy who might.
That'd be awesome.
I thought so.
Listen, I found adult size wearable samurai armor on eBay for $1,300.
Oh, that's a lot. The best handmade printed suit, and it wasn't battle ready, but still wearable, that I've ever found that was hard polymer stuff was around like $370, which wasn't bad. I can't find, I don't know where the link
This
is
stuff's
now, but
$1,300. It's
that's
a
too
hard
expensive.
polymer, wearable, battle ready.
I don't want to buy anything that breaks $1,000 that somebody 3D printed. That's all I'm saying. Because if it's, you know what I'm saying? Like, better be something different.
Listen, when I was in Japan, the riot cops in Japan have essentially samurai armor, right?
No.
It's like heavy padded. You know,
Right.
they got the helmets and they got like the neck gorgets, right? And they got
Right.
like, it looks like samurai armor. and they give the riot cops the big solid wooden kendo sticks.
Yeah, Bokens. Yeah.
The Bokens, right?
Oh, just let them go to town, do they?
Yeah, listen, I was there and there was a protest going on right outside the French embassy because the French were testing nuclear weapons in the South Pacific or something crazy like that, right?
Right.
So the whole street was filled with protesters. On either side of the street, on the edge of the street, there was a line of Japanese riot cops, and they all had shields. And behind the dudes with shields were the guys in samurai armor with the wooden Bokens, right?
Yep.
And they were all stretching out with their Bokens and stuff. And I went down and talked to them and said, hey, man, what are you doing? They're like, protesters. Ha ha. I'm like, what are you going to do? They're like, open shield, we go crack head.
Oh.
And they were just waiting for the word for the shield guys to turn sideways. And they were just going to run out in the street and just start cracking people with their Bokens.
Seems like a good job.
Nah. It was kind of scary and impressive all at the same time.
That beats going to the dojo to roll around with my purple belt. That's all I'm saying.
I think they were kind of waiting for the opportunity to do this.
You don't say.
I'm
The
just
cops
saying.
were waiting for an opportunity to whoop some dude's ass on the street who was not armed.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Write the show if you've ever heard of such an atrocity. If
Just-
such things have ever happened
Listen,
to you.
I'm just saying that's outside their societal norms. You know, so that's like a big taboo thing. Like,
The French protesting? Or...
no, the mass protests.
Oh,
Right,
yeah,
that-
is outside their
that-
norms.
Yeah, that's
Well,
not a
because-
polite thing in
Right, I
Japanese
was just
society.
going to
Right.
say, that's not...
That's a
Well,
huge
that's
social
outside
faux
the
pas.
decorum. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good manners. Yeah.
And so they were kind of offended by that, actually.
Yeah.
And so,
I would be too.
unless you're Steven Seagal running a dojo and you're just beating up little people.
Yeah. But he's also married to the sensei's daughter.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
That's why it's okay.
So,
Nobody asks questions.
doing a U-turn back to this whole cats thing.
Let
right?
your dues go. Oh, yeah. Armor, cats, good.
Now, listen, I got 2 cats. And they're fucking worthless.
Oh,
They're worthless.
you're going to have PETA on us, guy.
But listen, my man.
PETA's
Listen.
going to come after us.
They're treacherous.
Butters is going to come after us.
They're treacherous animals.
Everybody coming after us.
I'm telling you right now, they don't do the dishes. They don't vacuum my house. They don't do anything except for beg for food and wait till 3 o'clock in the morning. And then they run around the house like a herd of elephants all night long.
Do you think that they think the same thing about you?
Oh, I'll tell you what, one of them threatened me with my life.
You probably deserved it.
Dude, that thing hopped up on the coffee table, looked me right in the face, and said, I'm going to murder you.
Well,
At which point in time, I called all my friends and said, you need to come over to my house. My cat just threatened to murder me, and I believe him. It was not a good time.
Listen, you sound like you're watching Minority Report. You sound like you're just trying to put my man in cuffs.
Listen, I'm just telling you what the cat said.
I've never had a problem with those cats. Not one.
Those cats love you.
Not one.
They despise me, and they threaten to murder me when other people aren't around.
You got to stop begging them for food.
Listen, it was, now, never mind my state of mind when this took place.
Makes sense. That's what I tell the officers too, right before I report the murder threats. Don't worry about how drunk I was, man. Just get this guy out of the effing way. I don't know how I got in his garage. Get him the F out of here.
I just
He
know.
threatened me after I entered this establishment.
I just know that cat was super calm when he said it, and that's what I found most disturbing.
I watched a cat whoop on Fredo today or yesterday. They don't care.
No, they don't.
I'm starting to learn this.
No, they have no fear.
Nope.
They don't care.
Why would anybody want to be around an animal that'll just do whatever it wants to you?
And think about it. If that cat was 150 pounds heavier,
He'd murder dog you. He'd murder pigeon you.
I'm telling you, you
He'd
would
be
be,
eating you while you're sleeping.
that cat would just kill you.
Maine Coon cat my butt.
That cat would kill you. You know,
He-
at one point in time, have you ever heard of a Norwegian forest cat?
No?
So apparently,
Sounds made up.
no, that's what I thought too. So somebody I knew told me they had a Norwegian forest cat, and I'm like, you're fucking full of shit. There's no such animal. There's no domesticated cat running around the forests of Norway. There's just not. Like, there's no pumas
Undomesticated.
and panthers.
You say
There's-
domesticated or undomesticated?
I said domesticated.
Oh, okay. So
There's no wild cats no big cats running around in Norway. All right.
I don't know. There's some cougars. I've seen them.
Long story short, it turns out there is a cat called a Norwegian forest cat.
Does it look like a scary version of the cat from Alice in Wonderland?
It kind of looks like it kind of looks like a Maine Coon cat,
Right.
except they have webbed feet
Wrong.
with fur between the toes. So when they walk on snow, like they're like snowshoes. And I guess they run around in the snow of fucking Norway.
This is why we don't go anywhere.
And so I stood corrected. But for
Norway
years and years and
cats.
years, I used to tell this person they were fucking full of shit and stop lying about their fucking made up cat. Turns out it's real.
Do you think people think that about you? They're like, stop telling made up stories about these wonderful cats.
I challenge you.
Where did you steal those cats from?
Well, the one followed me home.
Smart. Listen, I'm not going to lie. I personally,
The one with the really tiny skull.
there's
is
not
the
a
one
lot
that
of
followed me home.
There's not a lot of stories that I have with the Skellies or that whole crew that you run with. But I have personally had to brush mother effers off that have tried to follow you the F home while we were in the bars. So I don't doubt that the effing cat followed you because a grown man tried to follow us once to your house.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
some
so
strange things that
that's-
take place.
What did you do to these people?
I put a spell on you.
Oh my.
No, I didn't do that.
You probably should stop doing that. That young man looked like he was just dashed in dreams when we said he couldn't come with us.
He just took his entire dream and just smashed it on the rocks.
Remember when he was
like a
telling
wave
you
crashing?
his special story? He's like, I traveled through all over the world and nobody ever bothered me. I was like, well, homie, when you look like you're train hopping, if you look like you smell worse than me, I'm probably not going to bother you. If you don't got much going for you, you're not exactly like bus material.
Right.
You're not getting the taxi invite. The girl from Craigslist doesn't want to share a bed with you.
No, that's not happening.
And Joe Skelly doesn't want to take you home,
no, I'm not down with strays.
except for the one you took home, which everyone seems to love. You're the
Yeah.
only one with that problem.
Yeah, I'm the only one he's ever threatened.
Also, we have pictures of him not threatening you. So in reality, I got to say, I got to side with the cat. I don't
You know
want to be
what?
mean.
That's you're pushing the boundaries of our friendship. At this
I
point.
doubt it.
You're pushing the boundaries of
I've-
our friendship.
I've seen that most of the people side with the cat at this point. So I'm starting to wonder if these are just false domestic allegations.
Oh.
I'm going to have to check with some of our officer friends, but I'm going to be like, have you ever been over to this establishment because the small pussycat called for charges or threatened anybody? And they're going to be like, no, I've never seen that.
So you're saying that maybe there needs to be a protection order put on me against the cat? Is that what you're telling me? I'm just telling you.
I'm saying it would
When
look
nobody's
like
around, you don't
Yeah.
understand the trauma that I go through in my home.
Yeah, again, I cannot comment either on or off that trauma right now.
Okay.
Listen, shout out to all of our friends. We're going to cut this off before Joe Skelly continues to bring up these false allegations against some of our four-legged furry friends.
I do have a PSA before we cut off.
PSA. It's bring the stray cats home, not the stray men.
No. It has to do with we're getting into the political season,
Oh,
right?
we don't do politics
We're not.
except for aliens.
Listen, this isn't
And
really
clones.
politics. We're getting into the political race season, right?
Right.
And y'all are probably going to start receiving random text messages from political parties asking you to vote for their candidate. A surefire way to stop the text messages is to text them back and go, "Do you want some cracks?" And then they just stop texting you.
Oh my.
And it's not crack singular, it's cracks with an S. And they just stop texting you.
Because if they were real, they would just answer. You know, that's the number one rule on how to sell things through text is if you misspell it and then the person spells it back correctly, you know they're a real customer.
Oh, I did not know that.
That's the PSA code for all of you regular straights out there.
Or
For
if
all
they
you
call
squares.
you,
Yeah, if they call you, it's even better.
you simply say, "Not today, ISIS," as loud as you can. Doesn't matter where you are. And just hang up.
Right. Especially if it's for old Orange Face.
I'm just saying. And when I get political, I'm just saying, if they call you, just yell at the top of your lungs, "Not today, ISIS," and hang up, or just respond with a text message. "Do you want some cracks?"
I like to do that when the Girl Scouts call for donations.
Oh,
Yell
you
at
ask them if they want crack?
No, I tell them "Not today, ISIS," and I send them on their way.
Ah, there you go.
That just works for everybody.
That works. Apparently that works for everybody.
Dude, you could probably, you know what? We should try that.
And I also have a follow-up on something you said in a previous episode
I'm scared.
about hunting.
You should stop listening to our previous episodes. I've fucking heard, I said a bad word. I've heard some of them. They're not good.
You made a comment about, because we were talking
I'm
about
so
you should
scared.
never take hot cocoa hunting.
I'm so scared. Oh, okay. This wasn't that old then. We're good. Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
And
Who
then
came up
you-
with that idea? Hot cocoa hunting.
Yeah.
Listen, if
And
somebody...
you said, "I thought you were supposed to get rid of all your scent."
Yeah.
And somebody
Yeah,
we
yeah.
know
Oh.
had somebody go with them, and then they decided to take
Amateur
hot cocoa
Amateur hour.
and like animal crackers, and we're sitting in
Oh,
the sitting in the
my.
line eating animal crackers and drinking hot cocoa.
Yeah, with his fucking Lunchable. His effing Lunchable, sorry. Pony boy. I mean, other guy we're not talking about.
And all the deer got wind of the
Yeah,
hot
yeah.
cocoa and animal crackers, and they're like,
Perfect.
"Fuck this, we're out of here."
How did they know? How did they know?
Right, right.
What if it could have been their hot cocoa?
Could have
an
been.
invitation.
Could have been.
Here's the
But
plan.
what you said was,
Uh-oh.
bring a cherry cigar.
I said somebody I know did that. I do
Okay.
not. I don't know if
So
that would work.
I started poking around
And asking people?
and asking people, and they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, that's an old grandpa myth.
Uh-huh.
That shit does." And I've also heard bring a joint. That doesn't work.
That would be interesting.
It doesn't work. They're like wait till a full moon and smoke a cherry cigar and blah blah. Like that's some old timers bullshit that doesn't work.
We have to try it now.
Okay,
I mean, we've got one off the list. Hot cocoa. No.
all right. So we'll build a deer stand.
We have a deer stand.
We'll build one.
We're going to build a new one?
All right, we use the old one.
Yeah, we use the old ones.
We'll go up there, smoke cherry cigars.
You'll smoke the cherry cigar. You know I'm not allowed to smoke.
Yeah.
I'm Asian. Let's
What-
move on with that.
Oh, I didn't know that was a
It's a half thing.
I didn't understand that it was an unwritten rule
It's
in the Asian culture.
Only if you're mixed. If you're half and half, two will knock each other out. So Asians and the white people like to smoke. Therefore, I am not allowed to smoke because it X's each other out.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense, right?
Two negatives make a positive.
Exactly. Jesus. How many times have we had to explain this and they think it doesn't work? This works, ladies and gentlemen. Not as well as hot cocoa and animal crackers and
So what's the other negative you have to have with spam in order for it to cancel out?
for spam to cancel out?
Yeah.
It doesn't. It can't.
Never.
No, because spam is like turkey between islander people and white people.
Oh.
So like, they bring it together. Like the white people brought it to the island people for the fighting and the food storage, and then the island people were like, let me make a casserole for you, big man, and let me give it back to you. So now it's a turkey mutual thing. I can't do nothing about that.
Oh, so it's like the Plymouth Rock thing all over.
Right. It's like if you marry, if it's like you're like the guy who's on the tour, and then you marry the Asian girl, and now they've indoctrinated in you the spam thing. We can't take that away. Yeah, it has to be like the given stuff. Like again, how we talked about earlier. I'm supposed to be better at math. Canceled out.
It canceled out from your
50
white side.
and 50 didn't work. No. Now, if my mom and dad were both good at math, it would have been fine. But it was a 50-50 chance. So I'm a 50-50 shot I was bad, and I'm bad with math.
Okay.
It's fine.
What about instruments?
You know I can do all those.
Can you
Yeah.
play the violin?
Yeah, I can do all those.
Okay.
That's fine. Piano, guitar, drums.
That didn't get fucked up with the Asian
No,
mixing.
that part didn't get messed up.
Okay.
No. And some other weird stuff.
What about drawing anime?
Yeah, I can actually draw really well. Yeah. I just don't draw because the white side of me is like, this is too much work. I'm not Derek Hess and we're not getting anywhere. Just kidding. Shout out to Derek Hess though, because I love his work. You know his work.
Yeah. I got one last thing.
Yeah.
I want to give a big shout out to a local celeb.
Uh-oh.
I want to give a shout out to Tank the Bounty Hunter.
Oh. Tank
Bounty. They call it Tank
Bounty Hunter.
Yeah, Tank the Bounty Hunter. I've been watching your show on YouTube lately, and my man, you make me laugh. That's all I got to say.
I would say that Tank's probably changed your life.
I wouldn't say necessarily changed my life, but he makes me laugh.
I don't
And he
know,
made me
dude.
realize
You
that
showed up knocking on the door telling me I needed to open the door quickly. That was weird today. I've never seen that.
before I
heard
took
a
it off
knock-
its hinges.
Right. And I was like, what's happening? And you were like, take it down before I take it off the hinges. And I was like, you can just come in like you normally do. You remember?
Yeah.
Probably forgot.
Yeah.
but
I
Yeah.
did forget, but
if you guys know Tank the Bodyguard, bounty hunter, Kevin Costner's cousin, please write the show so me and Joe Skelly. Is that what you want to do, bro? Because I'm gonna link it up.
I'm just saying.
You messed up.
No,
you want to shadow for a day? I'll hit my man Tank up.
no.
You're in trouble.
I can't shadow.
Oh,
I can't.
why?
I can't.
I think we could. I think with our faces, we'd be fine.
That might be interesting.
This is happening. Oh, you messed up so bad. You messed up so bad. I'm going to walk into this dude's office tomorrow. I don't have anything due tomorrow. It's Monday. He'll be at work, but the kids won't be at school, which means you can go right down. Oh, you're so effed in the B.
If you want to watch something hysterical, watch Tank the Bounty Hunter.
What are you going to do when
Tank
I tell
Bounty
you
on
that we
YouTube.
have to go out that night and follow Tank the Bounty Hunter around? What are you going to do?
Oh,
This is happening. Tank the Bounty Hunter, go ahead and contact us through the website. Have your peoples, specifically the guy with the gardener's gloves, get in contact with me. Tell my man I got some better gloves for him. Also, yes, we'll be in contact. We'll be in contact. Oh, I'm about to abuse the heck out of this. This is bad. You shouldn't have done this. We'll be tagging every day.
I want to do is give my man a shout out because
Nope.
I've been watching the show and it's very entertaining.
He loves the show. We're going to be on the show. This is to Tank, the Hank.
Actually,
freaking-
he did a ride along contest already once.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, he had
I'm
a contest
sorry?
to do ride along.
What do you have, the best ride along? Boy, I will show up with the biggest bag of snacks you've ever seen. We got the Sony 4, whatever the heck that's called, with the 28, whatever the heck lens. What are you talking about? We'll get only your big, beautiful side. The big black stallion, Black Alicious. Write us, bro. We coming onto the show. Get up. We got to go. I got to go write Tank the Hank.
Tank
the Tank.
Bounty. Tank
Tank
Bounty.
Bounty.
Tank Bounty.
We're coming for you. 97 seconds. This is Bays Boys Podcast. I'm going to need all of you to go tag Tank Bounty in this. I'm going to need you to go send it to him. Get on the Instagrams. I'm about to name the episode Tank Bounty right now and drop it. Like, hey, we trying to get on Tank Bounty. This mother effer is going to listen to this whole show for 44 minutes and be like, they didn't talk once about me until the last 5 minutes.
Listen, my man's impressive.
Tell Tank.
My man's impressive and he makes me laugh. And I tell you what.
And we got dinner.
Listen, he's a gentleman.
He's a gentleman.
He is a gentleman
And a scholar.
and well spoken.
Well spoken.
And he treats everybody with respect.
Follows the law.
So you always ask $50,000.
Right. So you owe him $50,000. And I don't owe him shit, but I'm going to film his video. Joe Skelly's about to be on that video. Joe Skelly's going to carry the hammer.
Oh,
I'm going to carry the camera.
oh.
And we're both going to carry Tank the Hank something.
It's not
Bounty hunter.
that's not his name.
Listen, don't mess up
Tank
his name.
Bounty.
Don't mess up his name.
Don't mess this up.
Hank the Tank.
No, it's not. You're
Tank
messing
the
it up.
Hank?
No, you're messing it all up.
Frank the Tank.
That's kind of it. But we'll leave it there.
97 seconds.
Bays Boys Podcast.
Tell him we want on the show. This is not a negotiation. This is your Asian dad telling you we will be on the show.